of us, we made a home. Now,
Teenagers on a crazy treasure quest with a lot of hormones added for good measure was the obvious comparison to the Goonies when Outer Banks initially came out. The show had trouble striking a balance in its early seasons between action and drama, in the vein of soap operas. Viewers were left wondering if the treasure search was merely a setting for another high school romance, because episodes frequently included long digressions into the protagonist's romantic life. With a finale that seemed to fully fulfill the promises made by its concept, Season 3 did, however, hint at the journey the show was destined to be. Although there were some hard spots, the characters had a genuine journey. In spite of everything, Season 4 appears to carry on that pattern, in a way. The Pogs embark on yet another treasure quest, this time after something connected to Blackbeard, following a very uncomfortable opening segment that was voice-over narrated, which, let's face it, no one wanted. And although their journey might appear to be leading to something significant, it soon devolves into mayhem, a strange, sometimes absurd chain of events. Outer Banks has now really embraced its jump the shark moment. It is aware that everything is ridiculous. Even larger and more outrageous set pieces are made possible by the larger budget, which strangely makes it more eye-rolling and hilarious. Even though you're laughing more than anything else, there's a weird pleasure in seeing the show go farther and further into crazy. But it's not all horrible. There is a brief change in tone as the series explores new settings and attempts to cut back on some of its previous excesses. Even one of the last episodes attempts a more poetic exploratory tone, but it takes a melancholy turn. Furthermore, even while some ardent viewers might not have liked the shift, it's obvious that the program is making an effort to improve, although in modest and ungainly ways. The notorious turtle sequence is one of the season's most memorable scenes, and has generated a lot of discussion online. The show's antagonists, who are obviously wealthy, pampered, and morally bankrupt, are seen brutally trampling on newly born young turtles on the beach in an effort to highlight the character's moral decay. This type of situation seems like it belongs in a cartoon villain's playbook. The scene's callousness makes one shudder, and it's difficult not to picture the authors sitting around coming up with new ideas for how to make their villains even more heinous. The episode seemed to go beyond what fans may have anticipated from a program that has occasionally been more centered on adolescent drama than anything really ominous. Yet here we are, witnessing members of the bad guy party trample on defenseless animals in an attempt to assert their superiority. It's one of those scenes that seems both absurd and excessive, as though the authors had to go beyond their own expectations of how low their characters might go. And viewers will probably remember this scene for a long time after the season is over, making them question whether it went too far. The turtle scenario does draw attention to one of the show's recurrent themes, the darker side of contemporary treasure hunting, despite the debate surrounding it. The Pogs are up against mercenaries, jaded treasure seekers, and conceited aristocrats this season, so they're not simply looking for money. The program adds a much-needed level of depth to what has frequently been a simple adolescent soap opera, by focusing on what happens when adventure turns into a business instead of a quest for knowledge. The program still manages to create a few moments of real excitement despite its increasingly ridiculous theatrical antics. Several moments are particularly noteworthy, including a frantic, fashionable action sequence that sounds like it might have been lifted from a Kingsman film and placed to the upbeat music of Fontaine's DC. Even these moments can't completely cover up the show's shortcomings, but it's a highlight in a season that frequently focuses more on spectacle than content. Regretfully, Outer Banks continues to suffer from its own excess. As seen by the mid-season I Was Adopted reveal, the program continues to be rife with cliched story twists and excessive drama. The characters, JJ in particular, keep making perplexing choices, including burning away a fortune amassed through dangerous scams, with no meaningful repercussions. The storyline sometimes takes odd, manufactured diversions, from unlikely flashbacks to exaggerated character growth, making the writing frequently feel forced. As anticipated, Season 4 of Outer Banks is an intense journey that strives to maintain the essence of what first made the series so popular, while also pushing the boundaries of realism. There is still enough mystery and excitement to keep you interested, even though some fans might object to the darker tone and the characters' more ridiculous actions. In the end, this season leans into the show's recurring problems rather than resolving them. You'll probably discover something to like if you've stayed with the Pogs this far. However, you might be disappointed if you were looking for a return to the more realistic, treasure-hunting exploits of Season 1. There is still enjoyment to be found if you're willing to go along with the crazy, soap opera meets adventure mix that Outer Banks has now completely embraced. Just don't anticipate too much, particularly when it comes to tiny turtles.